You guys are not going to believe your eyes when I show you the images on this case study. So I stumbled upon a newly released case study recently of a 12-year-old that was riding his bike. He had a crash and slammed the front of his neck across his handlebars. His parents take him to the ER. The only thing they could appreciate on exam was a bruise across the front of his neck. He was hemodynamically stable, spontaneously breathing, vital signs looked great. But as ER doctors always do, they ordered a CT scan just to make sure. And check this out. They identified a 3-centimeter posterior right tracheal tear and tons of subcutaneous emphysema and a pneumomediastinum. So that means little bubbles were escaping out his trachea into that soft tissue there around his trachea. And the pneumomediastinum is air in the chest, not in the lungs. So they transferred this kid to a level 1 trauma center where they could repair this tear. And this kid, would you believe, was never intubated for this injury. They took him to the OR, inserted an LMA where they performed bronchoscopy, and they placed a stent over this 3-centimeter tear. There you have it right there. He was observed in the hospital where they did pulmonary toileting. They gave him nebulized saline to make sure that stent didn't gather a bunch of snot secretions and junk in the airway. And they discovered a few days later that yes, the injury was healing, but that stent was gathering too much stuff. Here is another bronchoscopy photo from it gathering those snot wads on the stent. So they yoinked it out of there, thinking maybe he could heal the rest away on his own. They performed bronchoscopy again a few days later and saw, ooh, it's still way too open. I think we need to stent him again. So they placed a second stent on this kid. The injury started healing. Several days later, they saw lots of granulation tissue, so they pulled out the second stent, and the kid did extremely well. And here is a picture of his airway from a couple of months later with that tear totally healed. Isn't it amazing what our bodies are capable of? I can't believe that kid remained hemodynamically stable, spontaneously breathing with appropriate SATs, but a few learning points from this case study. Number one, things can be a lot worse than they might look on the outside. So never rule out any kind of serious injury if all you see is a little bruise. Additionally, something that wasn't present in this kid but easily could have been was a vascular injury. So sometimes with neck injuries, think about how many important things we have that connect the heart to the brain. There's lots of vasculature. Of course, there's nerves connecting to the entire body. But with this kid, it could have been a vascular injury that would have bled very quickly, and that can cause pressing against the airway if we've got a big puddle of blood in there. So there you have it, a really cool case study of a tracheal tear caused by handlebar injury.